think in the next, 6 to 9, probably the next 12 months, I'll have there'll be something new. There always is. I'm always reading and seeing what else is coming out and trying to be the first to market.
CBD, THC, mushrooms, microdosing, you name it, man. Like, what have I missed in this plethora of different ways people can alter the way they exist? I got my good friend Brett Weiss in the house. He owns Smilyn Wellness and this brand right here, Mushroom Lyfe. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about all the different modalities that are out there that people are using, that Brett is on the forefront of, bringing great products like Mushroom Lyfe and all of that. So what did I miss? There's Delta 8, Delta 9.
There's Delta 8, Delta 9, THCP. Cactus is going to be the next big thing,
really?
in my opinion. Ayahuasca. I mean, you're seeing all the bigwigs, the Elon Musks of the world, and who else? All these big Silicon Valley people have been doing microdosing with mushrooms and psilocybin and cannabinoids and cannabis. I mean, plant medicine is finally here to stay. Pharmaceutical companies, we're sorry, but it's coming to the forefront, and people like yourself and me and my father can use it to benefit and live a healthier lifestyle.
So let's kind of start from the top, we'll call it the lightest version of what is available to everybody today, and then work our way down this seemingly rabbit hole of different opportunities and options. So when CBD first came into the picture, it was Charlotte's Web. The story was the couple had the daughter who had the epilepsy, seizures, and they sought high and low to find some remedy to help their daughter, the most precious thing in the world to them, right? And they settled on CBD. And you've been like on the forefront of all of this. Like this guy's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. He brought his father here today. This is what they do as a family. And I'm constantly seeing Brett coming out with new stuff. So having him on the show today is a really great resource for you to understand these things that are available. So let's talk about CBD, because I still get the question, well, am I going to get high? Every time I offer it to Anita, am I going to get high from it? No, you're not getting high off of CBD.
Yeah, correct. Well, I'm going to start from the way beginning where I got my start.
Okay.
Obviously, it's my family. Car washes, Dairy Queen, fruit stands. But I got my first taste of entrepreneurship, finding that next thing, riding my bike a mile to school, stopping at Dunkin' Donuts, getting a dozen donuts, going to Walgreens, get a dozen orange Tic Tacs, and I had $20 in my pocket before the bell rang. So I always look for something that's going to make somebody happy, put a smile on their face. I've done a little bit of everything in my lifetime, selling stickers and pitas and holograms and text messaging. And in 2013, I got introduced into the e-cigarette marketplace. I was never a smoker. Actually, my father was for a bunch of years. And I used to tell him quit even though I had asthma. He finally quit after a bunch of years. And I'm like, what is e-cigarettes? I had a rep. I was a sales manager for a company called Spot On. And this rep calls me one day and says, I just got the greatest account in the world. I'm like, what? It's like an e-cigarette store. I'm like, what the heck's an e-cigarette store? He's like, you got to come check it out. So went up to Dana Point, saw this place, and just saw hundreds of people going in day to day. Turns out, obviously, e-cigarettes is a healthier alternative than smoking tobacco or a cigarette with nicotine and tar. So from a health perspective, I got started back in 2013 offering a solution to the smokers to get off the nicotine and tar. 2018, I was hiking a mountain with a friend of mine, Jesse Itzler. And I think I'm a visionary. I always, forecast what's coming next. And I started selling CBD out of my vape shop in 2016 as an additive to your vape. And when I did sell that, everybody's just like you said with Anita, everybody thought you were going to get high, because I had a lot of my customers were recovering addicts. And I said, guys, CBD does not get you high. It's a cannabinoid. There's minor percentages of THC, less than 0.3, which can't do anything to you. So 2018, I started, Cabuela is the parent company, and the brand that I came out with was Swell CBD. We came out with like 7 different products, tinctures, gel caps, gummies. About 6 months later, I got a cease and desist letter from a company called Swell Coffee down in Pacific Beach. They had filed for a trademark and you get categories when you file for a trademark, CBD. So I'm like, fuck, I'd already have done all this research and development and labels and artwork. And I decided, you know what? I'm not going to argue with them. I'm not going to fight them. Let's just move on. So I enlisted the help of a couple friends. You actually know one of them, Tom Jones, to come up with a new brand. The brand is called Smilyn Wellness. And where did I come up with Smilyn? My sister. Her license plate is Smilyn. So one of the things that my dad will tell you and everyone will tell you, my biggest joy in life is to put a smile on somebody's face. I will give you anything you want, probably too much. I'm too much of a giver, but that's what I like to do. So I saw a need in the marketplace for CBD to help people live a healthier lifestyle. In your body, you have what's called a CB1 and a CB2 receptor. So you have cannabinoids that are inherent in your body, but they don't really work. So taking CBD basically turns on that switch and says, go to work, do your job. And there's different types of CBD, full spectrum, broad spectrum. Then you have all these little cannabinoids, CBG, CBC, CBN, that all do a little bit something different, whether it's helping with inflammation, anxiety, stress, sleeplessness. It goes on and on and on. That hemp is grown in the ground. It's plant medicine. There's so many benefits from hemp, from mushrooms, that have just been swept under the rug for the last 50 years because of the pharmaceutical companies.
What's the difference between hemp and marijuana?
Great question. So hemp has very low levels of THC. So yes, and they look the same. Hemp plant and a marijuana plant looks identical. Could you take that hemp plant and roll up a joint or smoke in a bowl? 100%. Will you get high? No, because the levels of THC are below 0.3. Where THC, you're pushing 90% THC in a cannabis plant. So that is the biggest difference, where on the hemp side, you can utilize it more for health purposes. Not that you can't with THC, because as you're seeing in these days, a lot of people are using cannabis for specific ailments.
Yeah, concussions, the NFL's big time.
Yeah, concussions, helping people get off alcohol, you name it, help them jump over the moon, whatever they want to do, just have a good time. There's, different than when you and I grew up, you got high to get high. Now, over time, there's a lot of, benefits that are coming to the forefront that why you should utilize THC or hemp in your daily lifestyle.
So with all these different cannabinoids or cannabinoids, what's the proper pronunciation of it?
Cannabinoids, yes.
Cannabinoids.
Yep. And then you have minor cannabinoids. Like there's all these, I think there's like 113 cannabinoids in a plant.
Yeah, see, we didn't know that back when me and you were in the 70s smoking weed.
Yeah.
And they had seeds in pot back then.
Oh, yeah, I smoked out of an apple my first time.
Yeah.
In my dad's backyard. Or it may have been a Milwaukee's Best Coke can, I don't know, or beer can.
Something random like that. But with this new understanding of what is available, like we look at that one leaf, all we associated it with back then was THC and getting high.
Yep.
That was the thought. And that's the problem with people, is they can't separate that thought from the actual medicinal part of the plant.
Correct.
And the fact that you might have an altered state of being, they associate that with being high and make it a bad thing. Well, alcohol, you have a different nicotine. Every single one of these things that we've accepted into our culture is altering the way you think and the way you act and the way your body processes different things. But it's so interesting to me how the marijuana plant has been so demonized for so long.
Yep.
And now we understand all of these different cannabinoids in there that do different things. Like you said, inflammation, anxiety. How many people we know have, well, everyone has inflammation.
Yep.
Most everyone has anxiety.
Yep.
And we go to a doctor, and the first thing the doctor does is takes out his pad and gives you a Xanax, and we accept that so easily, but we fight something that, like you just clearly said, comes out of the earth.
Yeah, no, it's we live in a good time. With what's coming, a good and a bad time. This thing right here, it's horrible for the children of the world.
Right.
But living a healthier lifestyle, which you're a big promoter of, and utilizing product that, again, you can get in the ground. You can grow it in your backyard. They don't want you to know that. But now, it's being stopped. Nobody's going to stop the cannabis movement, the psychedelic movement with psilocybin, the functional movement. It's here to stay. And I think people are becoming more aware and accepting of it. When I started CBD back in 2018, I would say to my friends, do you know what CBD is? And they'd look at me dumbfounded. What is it? Now, when I told them about my newest company, Mushroom Lyfe, I say, do you know what a mushroom is? Like, of course I do. I've been eating mushrooms for years on my burgers and my pasta, blah, blah. What most people don't know, and same with CBD, is all the benefits we just talked about, that all these different strains or of mushrooms and hemp and all the minor cannabinoids in the hemp, what they can do for you. And it's exciting. I mean, it's a very fast moving industry that I'm in. I always have to look ahead. I don't want to be following the leader. I want to be the leader. And, I've known you for a couple of years. And as you said, I don't know what happens up here in my brain, but it doesn't stop sometimes. Like I developed adult ADD in the last 4 or 5 years because I have a goal. I have a goal in mind to get my daughter through college and go live happily ever after, but also to make a change in people's lives. That's what makes me go on a day-to-day basis.
So what are some of the testimonials that you've personally had from some of the products, any of the products that you offer to people out there?
I mean, we've got customers that have taken my CBD products for years. 3,000 milligram tinctures, gel caps. I have a lady right now actually who is battling cancer, and she has tried everything in the world from the doctors, right? In that prescription, as you said. She takes our gel caps. She takes some of our functional mushroom gummies. In the last month, she's been able to eat. She's been able to sleep. When I see those testimonials of somebody who has, I'm healthy, you're healthy. We're very lucky. Most people are not healthy and they don't know what to do. And the doctors prescribe them what they shouldn't be taking. Now they have an option to find stuff that will work, that won't cause long-term effects.
Yeah. So you talked about making people happy, helping someone eat and sleep, two of the most basic needs that humans have. That's making somebody happy. And it's with something that was really misunderstood. But I think CBD is becoming more accepted and understood in our culture today. So we move down the line. So now we have legalized marijuana basically,
Correct.
But not under the THC moniker. It's under Delta 8, Delta 9, THCO.
So what happened back in 2020, I heard about this Delta 8. Like, what is Delta 8? So in the hemp plant, you have CBD, turned into CBD isolate, and then through a synthetic process, all these crazy scientists do, they've been able to alter the molecules to put levels of Delta 8 at a higher level than 0.3 THC.
See, that is where the argument comes in for people.
Yes.
Okay.
And Delta 8 is legal to sell under the 2018 Farm Bill, which allows me not to have a dispensary. I could sell it online. I can open a retail store.
And in any state, anywhere, and ship it?
Yes.
And all
I mean,
that
there's certain states that you cannot do Delta 8, but you can do Delta 9. HHC, I mean, there's like 16 states out there that you cannot sell Delta 8. Is it happening? Yeah, of course it's still happening, unfortunately. A lot of these states, I mean, I just saw something yesterday. I think it was New York is banning full spectrum CBD.
What's the difference between full spectrum and
broad spectrum?
Broad spectrum.
Full spectrum has all the cannabinoids and levels of THC. Broad spectrum has 0 THC, so it's called non-detect. Okay. So if you take it to a lab, it'll say there's non-detect THC.
So if you work in a company that
drug tests, yes, you can't take full spectrum. You got to take broad spectrum.
You have to take broad spectrum.
Correct.
So that's really, you need to, because even being at your office, I heard so many people saying, "Hey, I really want the benefits of this,
but I don't want THC.
But my company won't let me. I'm a cross-country truck driver, and they test."
Yeah. Everything we've done with Smilyn CBD wise is broad spectrum.
Okay.
I'm slowly moving towards full spectrum because there's what's called the entourage effect. There's a lot of other benefits by having that low level of THC. But again, you've got truck drivers, you've got people that work at big corporations that can't take it. But I think we're also starting to see in society, a lot of these corporations are understanding if you have a healthy employee, whether they smoke weed or not, let them do their job. Let them be happy and healthy. And if it takes full spectrum or smoking a joint a day, let them do it. If it's not affecting their day-to-day life, what I don't understand in this world is it's okay to go home and drink a bottle of vodka or beer and all this stuff. That's, when's the last time you heard of somebody killing somebody when they were high?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. You don't hear that. So what's the difference then between isolate, distillate, and all of these other things?
So isolate is a powder form.
Okay.
They take the seed, the hemp plant, turn it into a powder form. Can be used to make gummies, tinctures, so on and so forth. They can turn the isolate into distillate, which is an oil.
Okay.
So very similar to, when you buy a cartridge at a dispensary, the oil you're smoking out of a pen is the distillate.
Got it. And this would be distillate.
That is actually distillate in the tincture.
Okay. So then, all right, I don't want to get too quick to the mushrooms because this is an interesting conversation about hemp. So hemp is typically associated with making clothes and ropes and things like that. And, everyone talks about America was built on hemp, right? It was a big trade thing back in the early stages of our country being built. So there's a history here with this.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, it's again, when I got into the business in 2018, there's maybe, 50 hemp farms. Now we can grow hemp outside if we want. It's easy to grow, different than marijuana.
What's a weed, right?
Yeah, it's a weed, but obviously with the cannabis plant, you got to have special, surroundings and stuff. Hemp, you literally can grow it outside right now, and 6 weeks later, you got these huge hemp plants.
Yeah, because you're not dealing with all of the, what do they call the stuff when you look at it on a microscope on the marijuana plant, all the little
crystals.
Bubbles.
Yeah,
there's a word for one. It might.
Yeah, so it's it's CBD it started off obviously Charlotte's Web, as you said, and when I started my company, there's maybe, let's call it 2,000 companies in the U.S. doing it.
I was going to ask,
and then
how many
through COVID, or before COVID, there was probably 35,000 companies because there's no barrier to entry. Anybody can really start a CBD company tomorrow. There's enough companies out there that private label, white label for people. Clark can have his own CBD brand tomorrow. Good or bad with COVID, it weeded out a lot of people. A lot of people that shouldn't have been in business, in my opinion.
So is there any regulation at all on this?
There is some regulation. There's regulation in certain states. The Farm Bill is actually being reviewed as we speak. They're going to come out with some more regulation come hopefully the end of this year. I mean, like in California, you're not supposed to put your CBD into food products. In other states, it's all different. I mean, it's just, in my opinion, the FDA, the government, it's all about money. It's a money grab. Who and how, where they can get the money, and they don't look out for the consumer's best behavior and best public. What can make them healthy, whether it's THC or hemp. Utilize it. CBD does not get you high.
Right.
And that's a misnomer you talked about. Everybody thinks CBD gets you high. I said, when I started in 2018, most of my customers from the vape world were recovering addicts. They were so against what I was doing, and I was like shunned. Well, a lot of them are using it and are selling it now because there's lack of knowledge back then of what it does and what it did.
How much time have you invested and money have you invested in helping educate people?
Oh, I can't even put a dollar value on that or a time. I mean, as you know, you call me at 5 o'clock, I'll answer my phone in the morning, or 12 o'clock at night. That's just what I do. I eat, breathe, and live. I don't have a time frame. Being an entrepreneur, I work on my own time. And if I want to work 20 hours a day, that's what I do. That's what you have to do to get successful. I mean, my father, my uncle, they ran a car wash for 60 years outside in 120-degree weather. Yeah. You do what you have to do, and that's just what I do.
Yeah, and you guys have heard me say that before when I was doing the intros and brought to you by Smilyn Wellness, and that's why I love what Brett does, is because he's educating people. He didn't just jump on the train to make money. He clearly stated that he loves making people happy, and if these products help make people happy by, one, taking away inflammation, anxiety, or getting you a little bit high, then so be it. Let's have fun in life. You only get one life to live, man.
That is it. Today is given, tomorrow is not.
Right.
You never know. You could be the healthiest person in the world. You can keel over tomorrow.
Yeah, yep, for sure. So what would be the next logical step in this process of what products you offer, discussing?
Obviously, so we started CBD, which more from the Delta 8, which is a legal high, basically. Right. So we manufacture a bunch of different products: gummies, tinctures, disposables, malt balls, gushers, that I am able to sell online through my website, smilynwellness.com, SMILYN wellness.com. It gives access to people in states that don't have dispensaries.
So they can legally buy it with the exception of 16
states. Yes. Yep, they can legally purchase it online if they're over the age of 21, right, and get it shipped to them. Is it good and bad? Yeah, because kids can get their hands on stuff, but it's no different than when I was.
Kids have always been getting.
When you were young,
you said you smoked weed out of an apple in your dad's backyard.
I used to go to the AM/PM down the street, and I see a bum there. Here's $20. Go get me a 6-pack. Yeah. You figure it out. You'll get your stuff regardless. So make it accessible to the public, because when you don't make things accessible, Then they go get stuff like what's happening with fentanyl and all this stuff that's going to kill them. Yeah. So, the key, in my opinion, in the CBD and the Delta world, even the functional mushroom world, is do your due diligence. Make sure you're working with a reputable company, because as you and I know, there's a lot of, shady characters out there just trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I need to make some money. I got a daughter I got to put through college, but just do your due diligence. Make sure you read the reviews. If you can't get a hold of the owner on the phone, don't work with him.
Yeah.
You guys want to get a hold of me? Just ask for my cell phone number.
Yeah. No, Brett is definitely connected with the people. When I'm there, I rarely get a chance to talk to him because he's always on the phone, either creating the next great product or talking to somebody. And it's never a complaint. It's never, hey, where's my product, or this is no good, or any of that sort of stuff. And that's the reason I associate with people like Brett, is because they're doing business the right way. And my job, my goal is to expose you of all these different modalities that are available to us in life that you might be a little bit afraid of, because it's on the fringe, right? It's on the fringe of what's acceptable, but it's your life. You choose to do whatever you want to do, especially if you're in pain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just giving people other options besides going to the doctor and writing that prescription. They can get this, to use it to live a healthier lifestyle and be happy on a day-to-day basis. I mean, how many people wake up every single day in pain and don't know what to do?
The majority,
and the doctor doesn't know what to do.
Right.
And they just keep telling, this and this and all these tests and everything. It's mind-boggling. So it excites me that I'm able to give people solutions to live a better lifestyle and get rid of that pain, the inflammation, the anxiety, the stress. My latest venture obviously is Mushroom Lyfe, which I saw about 2 years ago. I incorporated a company with my ex-girlfriend that we launched a brand called Happy Mush back in September. Unfortunately, things didn't work out with us, so I bought her out and we launched and changed the name to Mushroom Lyfe, Lyfe. I saw mushrooms probably 4 or 5 years ago all over Facebook from a company called Life Cycle, which is out of Australia. And I'm like, what is this stuff? And I started doing my own research. I'm like, this is my next thing. Let me figure it out. Let me create a brand. Let me give those smiles and let you live a happier lifestyle. In the mushroom world, I don't even know how many different types of mushrooms. But, when you go to the grocery store, shiitake and oysters and all this stuff.
Oh, mushrooms are the most abundant organism on the planet.
And those mainstream mushrooms definitely have benefits, but it's the ones that you're just hearing about right now. The lion's manes, the cordyceps, the reishi, that have different features, functionality, like CBD, that helps with immunity, stress, sleep, erectile dysfunction, you name it. So it's exciting what's coming out, and it's just really at its forefront. I mean, 6 months ago, you went to Lazy Acres, there was 2 or 3 brands out there. Now there are tons of brands.
So mushrooms are now legal to consume and buy online, like you're doing.
Functional mushrooms, not psilocybin.
Not psilocybin.
Psilocybin obviously has psychedelic features that a lot of people utilize for microdosing. I mean, they've been doing microdosing up in Silicon Valley for years upon years because it creates a level of euphoria, creativity, gives you a little more focus. I'm hoping to build this company, Mushroom Lyfe, under the functional brand with the different products. Gummies, tinctures, gel caps, powders. We have a bunch of new stuff coming out that once psilocybin becomes legal, that they'll come to me and it will become legal. Who knows? Could be 6 months, could be 5 years from now.
So is there a synthetic version similar to the Delta 8 that is legal that creates the same?
Yes and no. So there's a mushroom that's called Amanita muscaria.
That's the one that'll kill you.
Yes.
That's the red and white one, the pretty one.
Yeah, that the reindeers eat and they keel over. Because in the Amanita muscaria, you basically have 3 different constituents. You have muscimol, muscarine, and ibotonic acid. And ibotonic acid is poisonous. If you eat enough of that, that's why you don't pick a mushroom off the ground and eat it.
Not one of those. They're white with red dots, right?
So the muscimol has some psychedelic-like features. Not true like psilocybin, but can kind of give you that same functionality, but in lower levels. So just like I always do, I see ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I started selling Amanita muscaria mushrooms last October. Probably one of the first, in my space, probably one of the first 10 companies. It took off like gangbusters. I think I gave you some. It was like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. What I came to find out is because we're sourcing the product from overseas, I really don't know what I'm getting. There was not a lot of testing labs or protocols set in place. And still, I can get a huge bag of mushrooms that's grounded up. They could put anything in there. We don't know.
Well, that I was talking about that yesterday with somebody.
You have no idea what you're going to get. So Amanita, it's been around for years. I mean, I think 10 years ago, people started selling it as a legal psychedelic. So we do carry some Amanita products. What I've learned over the course of time, it's a lot of hype, but there are a lot of studies going on where they use the muscimol as for healthy purposes. I mean, you can look online and Thermo Fisher's Thermo Scientific, which is down the street from me, you can buy isolate, a synthetic muscimol isolate, but it's $400 a gram. It's expensive. That's why. I mean, there's really been no companies that I've come across that can make it on a large scale, but at a low price, because it's dangerous to make. It's hard to make. It's not an easy thing. There's a reason they sell for $400 a gram, not $1 a gram like you can buy THC.
Right. So do they remove that poisonous part out, obviously?
Yep. In the synthetic version, they do. So if you're just getting the raw material, there's always levels of ibotonic acid. I don't know personally how to remove it. I mean, you can mask it. You can put other products in there so it doesn't show up. But you're always running that risk. It's buyer beware. You don't know what you're going to get if you're buying it from some guy on the street or some random website that you see. Again, goes back to what I just said. Make sure the company you work for is reputable. They've been in business for a while.
Well, when you do psilocybin, like I've done it, and I remember back when I was a young kid, we would do just the magic mushrooms, the one you find under a cow turd or whatever. You would always feel like you were poisoned in your spine. Like when you were coming, it would be like, oh, like you had the flu. But it was like the poison accumulating in your spinal column. It's just really weird.
I've done my fair share of mushrooms over the course of years, and recently started doing them again, just on low levels, just taking a little bite like a microdose, and you can feel it again. If you do too much, then anything you do, I live my life in moderation, do a little bit of something, not a lot of everything. And I think if you do that, whether it's CBD, mushrooms, THC, food, workout, I mean, life is about moderation, not overutilizing and doing too much, because you know what will happen.
So let's talk about that microdosing. Everyone's doing it. It's the rage. Everyone's coming out with either the capsules, which are a microdose amount. The thing about that is you never know how you're going to react to it, because it's a day-to-day thing. You could have no effect, which is the desired effect on a microdose. You shouldn't necessarily feel anything till you realize, like, I feel a little bit like it's brighter out and the birds are chirping louder or whatever. But that same dose the next day could make you just like lay in the driveway in the sun and not want to get up.
I mean, what's happening is, just like in the cannabis space, it's becoming very specialized. How you grow cannabis, different strains, different strengths. It's starting to happen in the mushroom space as well. You're having these labs, these companies that are understanding how they need to make it so it's consistent. Consistency is the key. Again, the other thing is, you may need to take 2 capsules. I may need 5. Everybody's body is different. Just like I tell people, when I get drunk, I need 2 aspirin. Other people need 10 aspirin to survive. So it's finding that happy medium, finding that company that you can trust, that has a quality product that should do it. But just because I take 1 today, I could take 1 tomorrow. Again, it may not have an effect. I don't microdose, one of my employees does, but you do 3 on, 2 off, 3 on, 2 off. I mean, you can't, if you keep putting the same thing in your body over and over again, nothing's going to happen.
There's a tolerance to everything. All the things you mentioned earlier, food and all of that. With microdosing, is there any sort of negative? I was having this conversation with somebody the other day who's not an advocate of microdosing. And they were saying, well, it affects your nerve endings. There's nerve damage.
I don't know specifically. I haven't heard that. I think it's a misnomer, because they think mushrooms, psychedelic, you're a druggie, or you shouldn't be taking this. But there's a lot of people a lot smarter than me and you. These are, as I said, the Elon Musk of the world, all these people in Silicon Valley, they've been doing it for a long, long time because they know it works for certain things. Euphoria, creativity, and hey, if you want to jump over the moon, go right ahead. Eat a gram, eat a couple grams. It's
hero's dose.
I mean, about a month ago, it was a funny story. I was with my buddy Cherrick, who owns OG's Pizza over in Encinitas, and One of my a friend of mine gave me this little ice cream cone. It had like 1 gram in there. I'm like, okay, 1 gram is not a lot. So Cherrick and I ate this ice cream cone, and 20 minutes later, we were just laughing and crying, just having an amazing time. 2 hours went by. We're still doing that. Then his wife showed up and a couple of friends, and then you get that paranoia stage.
Yeah.
Your mind can control everything. You know, if you think you're going to have a bad trip, you're going to have a bad trip. Anyway, we had an amazing time. You know, and nobody was looking at us, but you always think, oh my God, that guy's looking at me, blah, blah, blah. So about 9 o'clock, I'm like, Cherrick, I'm out of here. I'm taking an Uber. I'm leaving my car here. I'll see you tomorrow. Again, 1 gram for some people, that doesn't do anything.
Right.
I took too much. Microdosing is like 0.25 is a pretty typical microdose standard, but some people might need 0.5. You know, you build up a tolerance, so everybody's body is different. You have to experiment. I can't tell you what the proper microdosing is going to be for you, Clark.
Right.
You'll learn if you do it over time.
Yeah, and you hopefully won't learn the hard way.
Exactly. You know, be in a good place, and if your wife is there, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you know, just make sure they watch you, do something crazy. But again, different than alcohol, where you don't hear people driving and killing people. I haven't heard of anybody killing anybody on mushrooms or cannabinoids or THC. You know, there's a reason. It's plant medicine. You know, it's alcohol's. I don't know. We can go on and on and on.
Yeah. There's all sorts of different rabbit trails you could take, but I'd like to keep it on the up and up with, you know, like all of these things that you've created. I'll tell you one thing that really helps me out a lot is the nighttime version of this.
Yes, we have sleep gummies and a sleep tincture.
Dude, the sleep gummies are literally, first of all, they taste so good. A green apple flavor. It's the first one I took, I wanted to eat more.
Yeah, yep.
Because it tasted so good. And that's one of the definite things you want to be aware of. It's like you need to pace yourself on any of this, even the non-psychedelic ones, because there's melatonin in here, and I'm very sensitive to melatonin. I'll have bad dreams if I take too much. So I don't even eat a whole one.
Really? Okay.
I bite it in half, or like I'll take the little mushroom head off of it and bite that, or bite the stem off of, and that's a good enough dose to put me down and put me to sleep, have great, lucid, vivid dreams, and I wake up feeling
It puts you in a REM sleep. You know, like I tell a lot of people, start with a half or a quarter. You can always eat more. You can't eat less.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Yeah, like you said, I mean, in the last couple of weeks, I've given out a bunch of the sleep gummies, and I've had people just like yourself saying, I haven't slept this well in 20 years.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
And I've tried a ton of different sleep things, and these really are something that I enjoy. So let's talk about the different, I guess we'll call it strains of mushrooms, like lion's mane, for example. What are some of the benefits of that? I've even heard some things about cancer benefits. I
mean, there's between the lion's mane, the cordyceps, the turkey tail, the reishi, they all have, and I have all this information on my website. So if you forget, and sometimes I forget, they all do different benefits. So all my products, some have lion's mane and cordyceps, some have turkey tail. Whether you want for focus, for sleep, for immunity, it just helps you build certain things up in your body from a natural standpoint.
Right. This one's the lion's mane and limonene.
Limonene. Yep. Limonene. Yep.
Is that a mushroom?
It's not a mushroom. It's I don't even what's the word to utilize. Just another constituent. Yeah, adaptogen, nootropic constituent. But we have all this information online. You can see what we have and really understand the benefits of what you should utilize, whether it's a gel cap, whether it's a gummy, whether it's a tincture. We're coming out with a bunch of new products. I actually have a meeting this evening with a gentleman by the name of Jay Moon, who is really, I don't want to call him a homeopathic, but he utilizes homeopathic, natural medicine to help people. He is actually has a suppository that's CBN and Delta 8 that some of the testimonials, the results that I've seen are absolutely phenomenal.
Why would you want to stick it up your butt when you can eat it?
Because once it goes up your anus or your butt, it hits your bloodstream that quick.
Okay.
So with his product, I've seen and talked to a 30-year-old lady who had stage 4 cancer. 6 months later, she was cured.
Really?
My cousin actually has MS. I'm trying to get him on it. He's had people on MS who were in a wheelchair for 10 years. 60 days later, after utilizing this, it's a day-to-day basis. So every morning, every night, you got to stick it up your butt. In the morning, you got to do an enema because your body has parasites.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry to say, but everybody's got parasites in their body. And a lot of diseases are started with what's called the Epstein-Barr virus. Everybody has that in their body. Some people's, it lies dormant. Some it's really doing what it's supposed to do, which is wreaking havoc. With Jay's new technique, it's a suppository that doesn't get you high. It has a terracoated coating on the pill, and it's essentially just flushing your body out of all the parasites. Like I tried it for 3 days, and I called Roberta, who's been doing it for months. I said, Roberta, I had like a leaf in my shit. She's like, oh, no. I said, it looked like a leaf with legs. She's like, that's a parasite. It's a parasite. You don't realize it. You don't want to hear it, but it's true. The stuff that we eat these days, I mean, look at the kids, how big they are. There's so much junk and crap and preservatives put into the food these days that just, it's not good for the body. It's not how we were built.
Yeah. A friend of mine the other day, she's real big into the parasite thing because she's actually gotten rid of a few from herself.
Yep.
And she showed this kind of example of, I can't remember, it was halibut maybe. And she opened it up and I didn't even want to look because I knew where it was headed.
Yep.
And I love that. So sometimes we have this idea of if we don't see it or we don't learn about it, we don't know about it, it ain't going to affect us. But it is.
Out of sight, out of mind. It's, but you gotta, with everything I do, the CBD, the mushrooms, the Delta, it works. It has benefits to help you live a healthier lifestyle. That's all we want to do. We want to wake up in the morning, take care of our kids, our wife, go for a run, and feel good. Right. And you and I know, because of what you do with your group of men and even women, a lot of people, they need a coach. They need somebody to tell them what to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
And trust me, I know what I need to do and how to do it. Sometimes I don't. But when people like yourself and me are out there promoting and talking about it, I'm just like you. We both have red blood. Right. If I can live a healthier lifestyle, then my father who just fell asleep can live a healthier lifestyle. Right. It's up to you. I can only do so much. As I say, you can lead a horse to water. You can't teach him how to drink.
Yeah. So you had mentioned at the beginning, you're on the forefront of cactus.
Yes, it's another vision that I've talked to some people that, what can it do? I can't tell everybody because
So we talking the psychedelic part because we do know there are cactuses out there.
Yeah, no, there are just like the mushrooms. There are benefits that can come from all the different species of cactus. Yeah, and there's hundreds of them. Tequila is one of them. But.
Right. Yeah. So what are some of the things that you can reveal that you're wanting to do with the cactus?
I can't reveal anything at this moment because I have to kill you.
All right. I don't want that to happen, man. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, no. So I think in the next, 6 to 9, probably next 12 months, I'll have there'll be something new. There always is. I'm always reading and seeing what else is coming out and trying to be the first to market. With Kava is starting to make a big comeback. Kava's been around for years. Yeah. And now it's, there's Kava bars and they're putting in their products, and Kratom is another thing, which is a leaf grown in Indonesia.
I took Kratom before I came in here. I'm a big fan of Kratom.
Oh yeah, and we're actually going to come out with some Kratom products too. Okay. So, there's just, again, it all goes back to plant-based medicine. Yeah. There's so many different species of plants, and they have so many different benefits that can work for you and me.
Kratom is the one that you'll run into obstacles with, probably more than anything else.
Yeah. No, some people love it. Other people hate it, but it's gotten a lot of people off opioids, but they get addicted to Kratom.
Yeah, it hits your opioid receptors.
But it's a natural thing. So, in my opinion, it's a lot better than opioids.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it is truly a beneficial thing for inflammation. Yep. When I started taking Kratom, my knee hurt so bad. And then I realized one day my knee wasn't hurting. I'm like, what did I do differently? Yeah. And it was Kratom. And what I'll do is it's like a little 5-hour energy shot that I have. And I'll just sip on it a little bit throughout the day. But if you want, so the interesting thing with Kratom, like many of these different constituents, is when you take it in low doses, it's an upper. When you take it in high doses, you'll be locked to the couch.
Yeah. I've only tried Kratom once, probably about a month ago. Some guy gave me some pills and I didn't like it. I felt like I was on crack for like 5 hours. But I think if I'd done over a consistent amount of time, it would do what it's supposed to do. So We are coming out with some products. I haven't figured it out yet. Actually, we'll probably do a shot in Clark's name, so we'll work on that together. But yeah, Kratom is that Kratom kava. Kana is another plant from South Africa that's starting to come to the forefront. It's a great time to be in business in the world, especially in the health field, because there's so many things that people don't know about, and it allows me and yourself to present it to the world.
I love the fact that you say it's a great time to be in business, because what people don't know is the amount of shit you take for what you do.
Yeah.
Like being on the forefront is not an easy place to be, because you're the one getting hit with all of this stuff.
I can't tell you how many arrows I've taken in my back over the last 51 years.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to do it.
Right.
And I don't mind it. Yeah. It's being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing. Most people can't do it. Most people want to do it, but they can't. They need to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't know any different.
Yeah.
I, grew up with my family, and they're entrepreneurs. They ran their own business. I've worked for companies for a total of 3 years in my life. I couldn't do it. I am not a 9-to-5 guy. I'm not a shirt and tie guy. What you see here is I'm pretty dressed up. I love my t-shirts, love my flip-flops, love my board shorts. I like to do things my own way, and it's just who I am. It's who you are as well. You've been doing it for years, taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, great segue into that. Being an entrepreneur and being in shape, they go hand in hand. And I know you've kind of ebbed and flowed with your fitness. Where are you at right now personally with that? Because of the amount of work you do, you would be much more efficient.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
If you were at your fighting weight.
I started back about 3 weeks ago.
Good.
Over YoFit in La Costa, which I talked to. Cal is one of the owner, real nice guy, young guy, bodybuilder. So you got to meet my buddy Clark. When I took 2 weeks off because I was traveling, and I could sense the difference. Yeah. My clarity, my energy level, it wasn't there. I've always worked out. I've been an athlete since I was a little kid. So we get in a groove. We get too busy. We forget to do it. But if you do it, you're going to live a better lifestyle. And especially an entrepreneur, I take my dog for a walk every 30 minutes in the morning. That's just my peaceful time. And at least I get my juices flowing. But if I'm going to sit on the couch and be a couch potato, I'm never going to be successful. Yeah. And it's, I promise you, and I will make a pledge right now on this that
here we go.
This, guys. Football's coming up. Are you going to play football with me this year?
Oh, you got a flag team?
Yeah. The league I've been in for the last 10 years.
Oh,
we need players. Two-hand touch, the LC35.
Oh, I'll do that. I thought you were talking about a fantasy thing.
No, I do that as well. But I will. Last year I was in great shape. I'm going to be in better shape this year at the age of 51. I'm going to need your help.
Okay.
I want to do one of those things. You throw the football and it lands in a trash can 50 yards away. Yeah. We'll see how that really works.
Oh, no.
But yeah, no. I will promise you that starting next week, that I will, one morning a week, I will come work out with you.
All right.
You tell me what time. It's 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 7. Maybe I'm going to get my dad to come with us.
That's it. Pull out the mats.
But no, I love it. I mean, taking care of yourself, working out is, and you don't have to do the Clark regiment, the lifting the weights, and all. Just do something. Get the bloods flowing. Like who's the old man?
Wayne.
Wayne, love the guy. I mean, you've made a difference in his life. Difference in this guy's life by just working out 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, whatever it is. I mean, I'm actually only doing 30-minute sessions 3 days a week, and it makes me feel that much better.
That's all you
need.
I
just get to it. 30, boom, I'm done. Because my mind starts wandering. Anything past 45 minutes, I'm like, okay, what do I got to do? Who I got to call? Where do I got to go? Blah, blah, blah. So I will be back with you next week, I promise. Well, for the first time.
So the best advice I could give you with that is I just did an entrepreneurial podcast the other day, small business surgeon, and he deals directly with entrepreneurs. And he's like, what is the number one thing an entrepreneur can do to get on a fitness program? I said, put it in your schedule, because every entrepreneur works off of, hey, if you want to talk to me, you got to call me between this time and that time. You want to go to lunch, I'm available on Tuesday. Everything's on a schedule. So if you're not scheduling yourself in there, then you're choosing to be out of shape. It's just the reality of the way it is.
Yeah. So I'm, I don't know if I told you, I have to move my offices.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think I found a new building up off of Business Parkway by Target. It's like a 5,000 square foot building, huge warehouse. I think one of the things I'm going to want you to do, if you're able to do, is put a little gym in there, and once a week come in and train me and my employees.
Let's go.
If there's anybody else. in the area.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, we need to get me on the payroll somehow as a spokesperson for one of these things. Howie, I'm all Bob making money, bro. I'm like you, man. Come on.
One of the other things I'll share with people that you actually tried out was one of my new ED strips.
Yeah, man.
So that's a product. We're going to be coming out with some libido products as well. Shots, gummies, stuff works.
It worked so well. I swear to him it was tainted with Cialis or Viagra or something.
I have some more
that.
coming next week, so I'm going to give it to you again. Maybe it was just that night you were a little frisky with the wife and it worked that time. But there's everything I do is about wellness.
Right.
Whether it's sexual wellness, wealthy health, your body, blah, blah, blah. I always look to see what I can help bring to the forefront and to people like yourself.
So with that being said, how can people find you? Where should they follow you on Instagram, first of all? Do you have an Instagram?
Yes, I have an Instagram. I've had 5 Instagrams because they keep hacking me. I think it's, oh my God, I have my glasses on.
Yeah, so we'll put it up on the screen so everybody can go follow. So definitely follow Brett's page because he does really great content on there, honestly.
Yeah, we have a couple different pages. My personal one, which I give you, I have no problem, it's private, is B Smilyn, Smilyn, Life, Lyfe 24.
Okay.
And then my 2 companies are Shop Smilyn is the Instagram page, or smilynwellness.com is the website. And the Mushroom Lyfe website is mushroomlyfe.com. And the Instagram for that one is mushroom.life, Lyfe.
You really need to try these mushroom gummies. They're phenomenal. The taste is so good. And
if you like these, just wait till we have what's coming out. I'm bringing a new formulator in-house. Chris, who's with me, does an amazing job, basically self-taught. I have some other guys coming in. We'll have some new gummy products coming in, new tinctures, new powders, put in your coffee or your drink. And I don't stop.
No, you don't.
I've got a goal. I got to put my little girl through college and then have enough money that I could buy my my Sprinter van and just set sail. And if I want to answer your phone call, I will. If I don't, I won't.
There you go. Just follow the Grateful Dead around everywhere they go, or Dave Matthews, whoever you're into one of those. I know.
Yeah.
But all right, my brother, I appreciate you showing up today. Definitely go follow Brett and what he's doing. Buy his products. We have any kind of discount code that we could set up for people? Or
what do you want to give them? 30%, 35%? You tell me.
Let's go 35. Let's go
35 and let's go.
Dad's over there. I told you, son, never go that deep on discounts.
So on both websites, we have a 35% discount. Use the code Clark B.
Clark B. That's the code. Head on over there. Try the products out. If you need to call the company, they answer the phones all the time. I'm there all the time just hanging out because it's a great environment to be in because, like Brett said, he is here to put a smile on your face, and he puts one on mine all the time.
You didn't point down there, did you?
Yeah, I did. I was kind of like...
No, we have a good time. I mean, we laugh nonstop at my facility and my employees, and
dogs everywhere.
Yeah, dogs. I mean, you know what? I tell these people this: if you don't like what you see, it's not my problem. But I'm going to have a good time. I want to leave it with one thing because I'm going to have my own podcast one day. You're going to be on my show, and it's going to be called The 13 Words of Mojo. And I truly believe, and I keep telling people this, that if you teach your daughters, your sons, your wives to say these words, which you do on a daily basis, but look somebody in the eye, shake their hand, that you could live a better lifestyle. So you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
Please, always say please to somebody. Hello. Just put a smile on their face. Most people walk by and don't say anything. If you say hello, you shock them because they didn't think you'd say hello. Please, hello, thank you. I always thank somebody properly. Goodbye. See you later. You're welcome. I love you. And I save the best for last. Sometimes just say, go fuck yourself. 13 words of Mojo, my friends. Live it, lifestyle, listen to Clark, take care of yourself, work out, try supplements on a natural way, and let's see if we can help make a change in your life.
There you have it right there. As always, get busy living, make it a great day, and go fuck yourself.
Awesome.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah, no, that's fun. Thank you very much. Those are you've tried these. These are the ones that have the teeth. The world.